This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
A major economic boost for the island of Abaco as the new multi-million-dollar airport terminal on that island is now open after 3 years in the construction phase.
On Wednesday, the Prime Minister led a government delegation to Marsh Harbor to tour the new facility. Our Dawn Davis also traveled to the island and tells us what residents have to say about the long-awaited terminal.
With a $38 million price tag, the 46,000 square foot Marsh Harbor International Airport is now open for business. The country's third largest international airport was built by FES Construction Company and houses 2 floors, customs declaration and baggage claim areas, as well as several restaurants for patrons to enjoy. A few residents we spoke to said although the facility took nearly 3 years to complete, the long wait was worth it.
It looked like the safety level went up. It's nice and clean and comfortable for the guests and locals.
It means a lot because the first impression means a lot to the visitors coming in, and when they come and they are presented with a nice facility before venturing on to their final destination, it speaks volumes, and I think first impression is everything.
Minister of Transport and Aviation Gladys Hannah Martin says even though there were some major setbacks to get the facility open, she is pleased with the final product.
This is an important day because we made a commitment to make this happen. We worked diligently to make it happen. It has happened. And this is just the beginning because we're looking at airports nationwide. This is how you jumpstart economies in our local communities.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe, says this new state-of-the-art airport will not only boost airlift arrivals, but improve the island's economy.
And Abaco is fundamentally important to our growth and development. And you have here in Abaco major properties, but you also have visitors who wish to come. And one of the great difficulties you face is when you're promoting the Bahamas, the question is, how do you get there? Well, you can get here now, and you can get here easier. And we have to do much more promotions, and we have to cause more airlift to come to Abaco. But again, we have modernized this facility. We have caused our country again to be seen as a leading tourism destination. And Abaco now is not taking second shelf to any of the other islands. It is itself a destination.
Prime Minister Perry Christie echoed similar sentiments. The nation's leader believes with several key investments in the pipeline, Abaco residents can expect to see more employment opportunities pretty soon.
There are 1,000 jobs right around the corner, right under the bushel, right somewhere here in Abaco because of the infrastructure, because of the industry of the people, and because of the beauty of the physical characteristics of the land. There are 1,000 jobs right around the corner and will happen very quickly in Abaco, and of that you can be assured. There's going to be a giant leap forward in employment on this island.
LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
The tourism industry in the Bahamas expected to see an upswing from the ongoing recovery of the U.S. economy. Investment activity for the country is also projected to be strong. Now, while the numbers are currently down in stopover visitor arrivals and expenditure, Tourism Minister, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe, says there is a reason for this fall off. But this year, he predicts tourism numbers will be on the upswing.
Numbers were up, 6.2 million, but we're down airlift, which is what we've been focusing on now for a while. I said last year, and I said throughout the year, that we expected not to do well because we lost Spirit. We lost Spirit when we came in. Spirit was moving on, and we had lost some airlift due to some other conditions. But we're back up now, and when I speak, we'll announce some new airlift. Our numbers are doing better. I think we've turned the corner now. We had the best month in about 5 or 6 years in April this year, and our May is showing the trend. So as you see the trend, I think we're on the course that we want to be on. We started the year moderate, so I think we're moving in the right direction now. And together with the fact that you have Grand Bahama numbers up, you have Bimini numbers up, I think you can have big numbers.
In recent months, cruise liners have issued warnings about the criminal element in the capital. The tourism minister was asked whether he believed crime had an impact on the decline in tourism numbers.
There's no evidence to suggest that, but of course we have to always be mindful that it could, but there's no evidence to suggest that right now. I won't want to say that. Where we were affected was we didn't have the airlift, we didn't have the marketing, we didn't have the sales team, we did not, and we had lost our relations with the tour operators and the travel agents. We've rebuilt it all now, and we're continuing to build, and I see the numbers are improving. So in terms of crime, we're mindful and we're always monitoring, but what we must not seek to do is rest on our laurels. We must continue to work. As the trend moves in the right direction, we have to keep pushing.
A leading hotelier says the delay in the implementation of value-added tax is welcome news for the property. President and Managing Director of Atlantis, George Marcantonis, previously said the initial July 1st implementation date would have presented problems for the company, which would have required an estimated $10 million to prepare for its implementation. With Prime Minister Perry Christie's announcement during Wednesday's budget presentation that the tax would not come until July 2015 and at a reduced 7.5% rate, Marcantonis says Atlantis can use the additional time to make the necessary software upgrades.
The very next steps that we will do after reviewing what the Prime Minister mentioned today about the budget will be to find out exactly what we do have to do. It's really going to be mostly software system changes. We're thankful that it's delayed to 2015 because we need the time to get ready. Obviously, Atlantis has numerous revenue streams, and we don't just have one system. We have 30 or 40 software systems that we have to look at. So we haven't studied it fully yet, but we will.
Mr. Marcantonis also welcomes the news that with the implementation of VAT, government intends to eliminate the hotel occupancy rate. Overall, Mr. Marcantonis says he was pleased with what was presented and he never had any real opposition to paying tax.
I think this is one of the coalition recommendations to government. Again, I haven't had full time to study that, but it does make sense that dropping some of that as we implement VAT will be easily covered by the gains in the value-added tax. There's no doubt that we have to do something, and we knew that, and we've never said that we wouldn't support some kind of taxation system, and we've always just wanted to make sure that it was carefully thought through, which it has been. We're in support of the Prime Minister, we're in support of the Cabinet. We are going to do what needs to be done now. There's finality, now we need to just get moving.
Well, in more Atlantis news, the major world-class resort on Paradise Island is celebrating a huge milestone this year. And of course, as expected, Atlantis is celebrating its 20th anniversary in grand style. Cleopatra Murphy tells us the festivities have already begun.
With employees dancing to the pulsating sounds of the rhythm band, Atlantis kicked off celebrations for its 20th anniversary. A major component of the employee pep rally was a competition that divided the hotel into 3 groups, with each having to devise a creative way of showing company pride. After a fierce competition, Royal Towers walked away the winner. Atlantis President and Managing Director George Marcantonis says the company has made significant contributions to the Bahamian economy.
Every job that we have here creates another 1.5 jobs somewhere else in the Bahamas, and we're very proud of that record. We're very, very critical, I think, to the entire economic health of the nation. Now, it is not just Atlantis, obviously, but certainly as far as the tourism product is concerned, we have been the mainstay for the last 20 years.
Marcantonis says the company's future looks bright as it seeks to build on what it started many years ago. Plans include future expansion and other projects that will be revealed when the time is right.
We are going to continue our capital expenditures. We are going to add more attractions. We are going to keep the current property and the inventory and everything that we have the best that it can possibly be. Now, do we have some very imminent projects that we're working on? Yes, we do.
Some employees love working at the hospitality giant.
Working for Atlantis has been a grand experience for me. It has given me the ability to achieve so much, and the role Atlantis plays for our community is tremendous.
It's been fun. It's been an adventure. It has been so much, and they've given so much back to the community. They've given so much back to our country.
This company makes me feel great every time I come in. Not only is it a beautiful place to work in terms of the actual physical resort, but it's beautiful in terms of the people.
After 20 years as a driving economic force in the country, Atlantis is looking forward to celebrating many more prosperous years to come. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, coming up, Microsoft and the Ministry of Education inks a partnership. More details still to come. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Sia Scotterly. Bahama officials are calling the government's decision to implement a 7.5% value-added tax rate and the elimination of hotel occupancy tax next year a move in the right direction. Just this week, representatives of the tourism industry and the private sector collaborated with the Prime Minister and officials from the Ministry of Finance to address issues affecting that sector. In other business news, the government is continuing its push to get heads in beds as more developments come on stream throughout the Bahamas. Recognizing this, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis stressed the importance of forging and maintaining relationships with major commercial airlines. This despite issuing a 10% increase in processing fees.
It's moderate, we think, but again, part of a package to help develop the overall tourism product by making sure that when we have the hotel rooms, we can have the airlift that would bring the people in to fill them.
And in international news, Apple has confirmed it will buy headphone maker and music streaming service provider Beats Electronics. The deal is worth a total of $3 billion and is thought to be Apple's largest acquisition to date. As part of the acquisition, Beats co-founders will join the technology team. Apple boss Tim Cook said the deal would allow the firm to continue to create the most innovative music products and services in the world. In a statement, Apple said it is paying an initial $2.6 billion for Beats and approximately $400 million that will vest over time. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.